Hi, I'm Keith Hall. Today I want to talk to you about feathering the bass drum. Now, feathering the bass drum is when we play 4 quarter notes as we are swinging on the ride cymbal in a jazz situation. And many people will try to play the bass drum on quarter notes, but they'll play it way too loud. But it's important that we feather the bass drum. So we play it very softly. Some people will say that the bass drum needs to be felt but not heard. So I'm going to demonstrate real quickly here. It's very difficult to control the bass drum like that. But with a lot of practice, I know we can get it. Now, why do we do this? Why don't we just play the ride cymbal and leave the bass drum out? Well, I'll tell you, the bass drum on quarter notes reinforces what the bass player is already playing. The bass player plays quarter notes, and this gives a little bit of an extra punch to the quarter note. In our previous videos, we did say that the quarter note is king, so now we've got that quarter note in the bass drum. It also reinforces the quarter notes that we play on the ride cymbal. Feathering the bass drum rounds out the sound of the drum set. Here we have these high-sounding cymbals and high-sounding snare, and no low end. But with that bass drum in there, we've got some low end, so we've got a nice balanced sound on the drum set. Also, it gives us a ground pulse here where we can tap our foot and kind of play off of that, and that will help with some of our independence. Also, it's the low end that makes people dance. So these are all the reasons why we feather the bass drum. So I want to show you the technique here. Most of us that come from a rock and roll background, we play with our heel up and we use the entire leg. But for feathering, we're just going to use the toe. So we'll have the heel down and we'll just use our toe, and the bass drum beater will come only about an inch off of the bass drum head. So you can see. So there's not much movement there. And it is a challenge. It took me a long time to work this up. So I encourage you to be very patient with yourself. Now, as we're learning how to feather the bass drum, we've got to incorporate that with the rest of the drum set. So in jazz music, the cymbals are really the most important part of our sound. So the bass drum's going to be very soft, but the ride cymbal is going to continue to be very strong. And it's difficult sometimes to balance that out, but I'll demonstrate. I'll just play quarter notes on the ride cymbal. And it's important to line those quarter notes up so there's no flamming, right? So make sure those are right in line. And then we add the hi-hat. So you've got the quarter notes lined up in the ride cymbal, 2 and 4 on the hi-hat, and everything is grooving. I'll add spang-a-lang now. As you practice this, make sure you start very slowly. Use a metronome and be very patient with yourself. Also, my book, Jazz Drums Now Volume 1, has a lot of play-alongs with various tempos, and those could be a help to you as well. And always make sure you have fun. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you soon.